Hey, what's up, guys? Big up yourself. Thank you for coming. This is EKKI Media. Guys, today I'm just gonna do a reaction to something I've been watching over time on in Netflix. It's called the title of the episode is called "The Scramble for Africa." And man, the rule of divide and conquer, man, is real, yo. Africa is one of the largest continent, population, richest continent in the planet. But I need you guys to go check out. It should be on Netflix. It's called Scramble to Africa. And then I happened to bump into this video, and I came to realize even though they gave African the independence, they let go, remove the chains and the bondage and everything. But even though they broke the chains, then they left Africa, but they had mentally enslaved us and put us in them chains. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go check it out. You can go look at the Wikipedia. You can go and do a little history about the scramble for Africa. Because Africa, the largest population, like in the book of Exodus, where they talk about the Egyptians trying to oppress the Israelites and trying to make them slaves. And ignorance can be very expensive, guys, because the Bible, in the book of Hosea 4:6, the scripture says, in the book of Hosea chapter 4 verse 8, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Israelites didn't know, but they were being oppressed by the Egyptians because Egyptians were scared of the Israelites. Though they were a smaller population, but they were a threat to the mighty Egyptians. So the same way, the scramble for Africa, these Europeans, they realize, with the potential in Africa, the population, the minerals, the best food on the planet, they realize that these people, if they realize what they have, they can be a threat. And guys, let's watch this video. And please, I want to give shout out to my bro, Tafla, there all the way from I think it's LA, for the support and everything, for all the inspiration and all that. So let's go, let's do this. I'm gonna play this video, guys, and I want us to see what I'm really talking about. So here we go. Put it down in the comment.
It has a role as a raw material producer. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the...
Hold on. I gotta pull that back one more time. I gotta pull that. Listen to what they say. Everything that's going on in the past, presently, currently, everything that it's all planned and is orchestrated.
It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about it.
Wow. They will not allow Africa, for the security and for the world and for everything of everybody else. They will never allow Africa to realize our potential. They will never allow Africa to realize how powerful we are as one people, united with one voice. That's what the rule of divide and conquer. That's what he's talking. Africa is like 52 countries, and like different dialect, different everything, potential and everything. And I thank God for our president, William Ruto. He's trying to talk more of these open borders in Africa. But listen to this guy, what he's saying. They actually intentionally keep Africa impoverished for the good of other nations.
It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is.
Oh,
and whether it is Europe or US...
Lord, listen to that. Listen to that. It don't matter, US, Europe, China, their intention is to keep Africa where it is. Even if it's paying their leaders, bribing their leaders, putting money in their pocket to just make sure they keep Africa where. Listen to that, guys. This is insane, man.
And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall.
Wow, that is deep. That is deep. That is so deep. Book of Isaiah, if my people, they perish for lack of knowledge. And listen what he said. If Africa realize their potential, if Africa realize, their influence in the world, then all these other nations, they will suffer. They will be like, their lifestyle is going to be affected. That's what this dude is saying. Africans, who has bewitched you? We have education, we've been educated, we have degrees, but we have the most educated people, but yet we are so ignorant to see what is happening. Listen to this. Just going to school doesn't make you... Listen to this guy, what he just said. If Africans arise and realize their potential and unite as one voice, watch ya. It don't matter, America, China, they need our resources. They need our minerals. They need... Man, what? I gotta play this back. Africans, black people. If Africa realize... We all watch the... this movie, what is it called? Not Panther. But what I'm trying to say is, if Africa realize our potential, realize the influence we have, the power we have in the world, then even all our African brothers and sisters who are sold in those days, they will start an exodus, as Bob Marley said. I think Bob Marley was a prophet. I don't care what he was, but he spoke, how long shall they kill our prophet? Because every time an African prophet rises to say, migration, exodus back to Africa, they always stand. Gaddafi was the last one. Let's continue.
Those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. And Africa
may thank those.
Wow. No, sir. That was. He said, "There's no way the Western world is going to ever allow that to happen. They will never allow Africa, never, to realize our potential." Now, guys, I want you to listen, without further ado, listen to my brother Patrick Lumumba all the way from Kenya. Listen to what he's saying. This guy is wise, man. Hey, if you're Jamaican, you're Caribbean islands, you're in the United States, in Europe, Brazil, South America, and you look like me, listen to this, brother. Blessed preserve and listen. African, black people, open. I don't care whether you live in Africa, but if you're African descent, this is for you.
Spoken before me. and remind us that interference in Africa started with slavery. When slavery had lost its value, it graduated into colonization. And that is the context in which Berlin must be seen. When the European powers sat in Berlin and divided the continent of Africa into spheres of influence. When colonization had lost its luster through a combination of certain realities and agitation from the continent, we regained our independence. But as John Henry Clark, that great African-American, said, we regained independence by mimicking European governance systems. And he rightly says, no African country will ever succeed on the basis of those systems.
Wow.
After that, the neo-colonial project was instituted. And all of us will remember Kwame Nkrumah's book, Neo-Colonialism, the Last Stage of Imperialism. And he there says, the most dangerous. We are now in a neo-colonial stage when the European powers are at their most diabolical, when the Americans are at their most diabolical. And it's not lost on me that they'll be meeting in Hiroshima next week as the G7. And how do they interfere? They interfere militarily. They ensure that you in the military are trained in Sandhurst, are trained in West Point, so they affect your mind. They interfere diplomatically, sometimes through gunboat diplomacy. And that is why you see sometimes your typical European ambassador treats our heads of states in a condescending manner. They interfere through institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank. They interfere by ensuring that our economic infrastructure is beholden to theirs through dollarization. They interfere through education. They interfere by influencing our processes, by lending us advisors who tell us what to do. The neo-colonial project is alive and well. And it is at its most dangerous, and we Africans must smell the coffee. If we don't, they are going to continue to interfere. How else do they interfere?